Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to The Sphere. This episode is sponsored by KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Do you desire to belong to a community of unity? Visit KOGpassion.com to learn more about the Unleash Your Dopeness movement. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463.
What's going on, everyone? It's your man, Kalen Laws, a.k.a. Senor Wapo, and you're tuned into the latest, the greatest, the dopest, the most amazing, the most phenomenalist, I'm making up words, podcast in the country regarding gentlemanly style and gentlemanly culture. And that name of the podcast is G is for Gentlemen. Do me a quick favor. First of all, forgive me for being a little nasal. I got a little, little drip going on. But I got a lot of drip going on when we start talking about this apparel. But do me a favor and follow me at Senor Wapo 713. That's SENORGUAPO 713. And again, I appreciate you guys tuning in, listening, and watching each and every week to what we have going on. You know, we are a celebration of gentlemanly style and culture, and we go way beyond just the apparel, the fabrics, the fit, and all of that. We like to talk about all things gentlemanly. We talk about community. We talk about voting. We talk about cooking and relationships. We talk about faith. In fact, we like to activate our faith in a lot of different areas. Listen, you guys know me. I wear it out loud. I wear my faith on my sleeve, on my chest, as a crown on my head. I believe in the Most High God. And I got someone else I believe in the building today. It's a friend of mine. We've built a strong relationship over the past few years. A great brother. Of course, he was one of the collegiate standouts in college basketball about a decade ago or so, a little over a decade ago. Right, exactly, right. And when you hear this brother, I knew of him because of who he was and where he went to school across the street from me before we even knew what we're going to talk about was going to be something. And I got this is a good brother, man, a good friend, the CEO, the creator, the founder, Lanny Smith. He is the CEO of Active Faith Sports Apparel. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? Glad I could be here, man. And
I appreciate you coming to hang out,
rap
fam.
with you, man. Yes,
Talk
sir.
that real talk, man.
Let's do it.
So listen, man, let's just jump in real quick. I ask all my guests this, and I love, because we're a gentlemanly show. And gentlemen, and I like to expand the word, right, in the definition. So tell me Lanny's definition of what a gentleman is.
What a gentleman is, man. You know me, like a lot of young black men. Unfortunately, I was raised in a single parent home, and so didn't necessarily have that example to look at as far as how to be a gentleman, how a gentleman should act. So we kind of learn more so just by experience of wanting to do the best to help out our mothers. You know what I mean? So
facts.
I think that was kind of my introduction into how to be a gentleman. What can I do to make my mother's life easier?
Yeah.
You know? And how I treated her, whether it was doing things around the house, whether it was just my mentality to find a way to provide, to ease her life. So I think that's kind of where my basis for being a gentleman started, and that's kind of where, whether it's with my wife or whether it's
Shout out to
anybody I
Kirby Smith.
encounter. Yeah, shout out to Kirby, man. I couldn't do any of this without him.
Facts.
Man. So yeah. So I think for me that's kind of been that basis. For
Yeah,
me
I mean, Scripture's real clear, right? That honor your mother and your father, so your days shall be long, right? You know what I'm saying? And I love that because I agree. That's the same thing with me. I grew up kind of in a single parent home. Mom was married to my stepfather. They got divorced, but even when they were married, he was kind of absent, not necessarily absent, but he did what the best he knew. He was a foster child and all that kind of deal. So he parented to the capacity. Now that I'm older, that I understand that he parented to the capacity that he could, right? But again, it was me and mama's boy. It is what it is. That's my road dog. That's my homie. That's my friend. That's my partner. That's my mom's. We only get one, right? And so I'm just saying it was the same way for me. Helping moms out around the crib. Really, trying. I wasn't necessarily trying to be the man of the house because she didn't want me to be the man of the house. She wanted to make sure that I still was a child and I knew my place. Number one, right? But number two, did I experience being a child, experience being a teenager. But at the end of the day, when you see the people that you love in need, you wanna do whatever it is that you can, right? And I think that's such a gentlemanly quality. You know what I'm saying? Is paying it forward, going above and beyond, right? And I love that, man. In fact, I'm gonna skip off the board, man, real quick, off the questions rather, because you do a lot of that. People don't know that. You know what? Let's do it like this. So tell us about the brand Act of Faith. Why the who, the what, the when, the why, all of that, and then I'm gonna get to what I was gonna ask.
For sure. I'll try to.
Bro, you can take up the whole 45.
Man.
I'm not tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because you'll get me to share it'll turn into a testimony.
I love it.
And then
I love it.
It'll go left. But so Act of Faith Sports, it's a faith-based sports apparel brand. Essentially, when I first would try to describe what it was to people and they didn't understand that concept, I'd tell them, so think of your Nike, your Under Armour, your Adidas, your Jordan brand, but it's something that's faith-based. In nature, faith-based in design, faith-based in messaging, and it's something that literally started as this dream that God placed in my heart, and now, man, we've been blessed, man. We have customers in 43 countries.
That's crazy.
Across the world, man. It's crazy, man. But to even get into how it began, I never thought that I would be doing this. This is never anything that crossed my mind.
It was not on the plan.
At all. From the time I was 7, I knew I was going to play in the NBA.
Right.
I didn't have a plan B. It was plan A. It's NBA or bust.
Or bust, right.
And that was the plan for me. I was blessed, man. God gave me a tremendous talent to be able to play basketball at a high level.
Listen, hold on. Let me co-sign. Tremendous. Look, bro, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I need y'all to listen to understand. Please go Google because we're young enough so you can still Google this and see the tape.
Bit, you know what I'm saying?
You can see a little tape.
That bridge
But I'm saying, but there's still tape out there. There's some tape out there,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Right.
Yes,
Go look at Hightower High School, Lanny Smith, right? Go look at the University of Houston, the Go Cougs, Lanny Smith. That's all I'm gonna say. He's gonna be modest. He should be. I like it, but I'm not because I can toot his horn. Fam was nice, bro. You were nice, bro.
Yeah, man. I was they used to call me L Boogie back.
They
in those
called
days.
you L
They called
Boogie.
me L Boogie back in those days.
Shout out to Hightower High School.
Yes, sir.
Hurricanes, stand up.
Hurricanes, Mo City. What's up? But yeah, I that was my dream. That was my passion. To make it to the NBA. And my faith was always something that was important to me. That was something that my mother instilled into me early on, and I took that with me, wherever I went, including the basketball court. You know what I mean? And so, me praying before every game, me realizing that this talent was something that God blessed me with. That was something that was never lost on me. You know what I mean? And so, as I made this journey to chasing this dream, playing in NBA, had some setbacks in college. I was projected to be a late first-round pick. Stayed in school instead of leaving early and ended up breaking my foot going into the next season. Had 3 surgeries on my foot. The doctor told me I'd never play basketball again.
Wow.
So I go from a situation where I've been working for this dream my entire life and feeling like it's the next step in my life. And just like that dream is taken away. You know what I mean? And that was a tough period of time for me in my life, man. A lot of people that were around me, especially being a Houston kid, going to University of Houston, there were a lot of people that seemingly supported me in my dream that kind of disappeared during this time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And actually, it was during that time where I feel like my relationship with God changed. You know what I mean? I felt like it became more of an intimate relationship that we had, and I look at that as a blessing, even though at the time it felt like a curse to have this dream that I've always had taken away.
I gotta make sure and hook you up with Toby, man, because y'all have a similar testimony.
I've been trying to connect with him.
Homie's so crazy.
Yeah,
right now.
Know,
He the hottest.
Him, man. He
you have
thing,
a
man.
very similar testimony in that regard, man. For sure.
So I, I went through the whole, depression, everything, trying to figure out what I was gonna do. And I didn't want to give up on it, so I tried to make my comeback to play basketball. And I was fortunate that my foot held up. I actually was able to return to being the guy that I was, before this injury. Didn't get drafted. Went to the NBA Development League, played a year there, and after my first year there, got offered a contract by the Sacramento Kings. I signed with Sacramento Kings in 2009.
How dope is that? How dope is that? In fact, I want to tell you about something else dope. Another brand that's sponsoring this portion of the show, and that's KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Unleash Your Dopeness is the people empowerment movement built to encourage the masses to operate outside of their fears and have the gall to recklessly pursue their dreams and passions in life. Join thousands of others as we unlock the greatness that dwells inside. Shop dope gear at KOGpassion.com. That's KOGpassion.com. And use coupon code DOPE with an exclamation mark for 10% off of exclusive Unleash Your Dopeness apparel. Act now. Sizes are selling out fast. So you said you got drafted in 09.
So signed, yeah.
Signed in 09.
I signed as a free agent in 09, Sacramento Kings. And so as you can imagine, coming from a situation where I was told I would never play basketball again, to actually
get to the highest level in the world,
to walk into an NBA locker room and see a jersey with my name on it.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like
That's crazy.
It was I don't even know if I can truly explain how that felt. You know what I mean? It was times where after practice, like I would go home, get in the shower, and I just break down. I break down in the shower like, man, I cannot believe I'm actually here after they told me I'd never play basketball again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, unfortunately, that was short-lived. I think it was 33 days exact after I signed my first NBA contract. In practice and guarding pick and roll, the two bigs are coming to set the screen. They trip over each other, so I got two 6'11", 250-pound centers that fall right into my left knee, tear the articular cartilage in my knee. I have microfracture surgery, just like that. Basketball career over with.
Dunzo.
And man,
like,
man, I can't even. I mean,
is the feeling still fresh? It's not fresh, but in terms of like you still like, because
it still stings.
Yeah, it still stings because that was your childhood dream.
Bro, I mean,
yeah.
Think about it. I think about it this way. This was something that, a doctor may go to school for 8 years, 12 years, whatever it is, to eventually do what it is that they do. For you to abruptly tell them you can never practice medicine anymore.
Right.
Something that somebody has invested so much of themselves into, to just like that is over with.
Yeah.
You can't do it anymore. You
right.
know what I mean? And for this to be something that was my dream since I was 5, 6, 7 years old, and then to be one of the blessed ones to actually be able to touch it. Because you got to understand, it's 400 jobs in the NBA.
That's it. One of the most.
Bro, it's 10 million people trying to get to the NBA. It's only 400
worldwide.
jobs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I can walk into any school anywhere in the country and ask the boys, hey, what do you want to be? And so many of them are going, I want to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the percanages of that actually
right.
happening.
It's less than half a percent. Yeah.
Yeah. So to be one of those who's fortunate to touch it, man, was something that, it was a miracle. It was incredible to me. But then to have it taken away so soon, I'll be honest with you, I was angry with God. I was like, how can you, one, give me this dream, two, allow me to endure these different obstacles to get to this dream and get there. And then as soon as I get there, boom, it's taken away.
That's crazy.
I couldn't understand it. And so I remember after the second microfracture surgery, I'm laid up after surgery, and I was just praying, trying to figure out what I was going to do next with my life. And I remember saying this prayer, and I remember telling God, I said, I want to play basketball, but it's obvious you have something different from me. And I begged him. I said, if you have something different from me, I'm begging you to show it to me. You know, I said, your will be done, not mine. I'm begging you to show it to me. And, man, as crazy as it sounds, it was probably maybe a week later, this idea for this brand I say it came out of nowhere. God placed this second dream in my heart, man, and that was the birth of Active Faith, man. So
that's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's so phenomenal. And, you know, we have a group of phenomenal people that tune into us each and every week, and that's our Facebook Live family. And we want to holler at you guys and remind you to subscribe to our show on all the major platforms, including iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spreaker. We even on Spotify. Review our show in iTunes with constructive feedback, and share this Facebook Live post and the entire show with your family and friends. And you can donate. Again, I say donate to our mission to bring enriched and inspiring content each and every week. You can donate at www.thesphere.tv/donate. Want to give everyone a shout out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you catch the rest of the show. Go hit subscribe so when it goes live, it'll come to your inbox. We'll see you soon. So, talking with Lanny Smith of Active Faith Apparel, man, just gave a very abbreviated yet powerful account of how the brand began, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you endured hardship, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's what got you to the brand. One of the hardest things you've ever dealt with. Maybe the hardest to date. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's one of it's top 5. I guarantee.
No
you.
doubt. No doubt.
Top 5 dead or alive.
doubt.
I guarantee you.
No doubt.
But talk to us about how that fuels you as an entrepreneur.
So, my dream to play in the NBA was something that, you know, we talk about the small percentage of that actually happening, right? And I look at entrepreneurship in the same way. You know, if you think about the amount of businesses that fail within the first 3 years and in the first 5 years, and every entrepreneur has these grandiose dreams of where they want this idea, this brand, this business to go. But oftentimes the percentages that actually happen
right. Minuscule.
It's minuscule.
Yeah.
And so for you to have the gall, for you to have the, to really believe that at 7 years old, at 14, at 18, that you're going to play in the NBA and these percentages are against you, there has to be this undeniable belief in yourself, in your abilities. There has to be this work ethic that backs up this belief that you have in yourself. Yeah. And I think I transferred that energy into Active Faith. So when I first was telling people, when people ask, man, what you gonna do now, man? What are you doing now? I was like, man, I'm starting this Christian sports apparel brand. Man, everybody was like, okay, we need to pray for Lanny. You know what I'm saying?
He got the Christian. He got the Christian part right.
Yeah, he's going through it right now, man. He don't know what he want to do, man. We need to pray for him. But a lot of people could not see the vision that God gave me. You know what I mean? And so I just transferred that same work ethic. You know, I was going to the gym every night to get those shots up. I was putting in those extra hours to make it to the league, and I knew that I had to do the same thing with Active Faith.
And you do.
Business.
Look, I'm on your timeline. I'm looking, and Lanny said, shutting it down. I'm like, it's 3 a.m. I'm waking up going to the bathroom because I had to use the restroom. Then you thumb through social media till you fall back asleep. And I'm like, fam, just not closed. It say 2 hours. It say 1 hour ago. Oh, okay. He just not closed the laptop. So that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so I think transferring that passion, that work ethic, that energy into Active Faith has definitely been part of us being able to ascend to the point that we are.
So why the name Active Faith?
So obviously it's a double entendre. It's a sports
You
apparel.
better have a
brand.
degree. Talking about some double. I know your know your literary devices.
Yeah, you know what? Let me say this. Let me say this. Hey, to all my athletes out there,
Please talk
man,
about it.
Get your degree, man. Get your education. That ball is gonna stop bouncing one day. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care whether you don't make it, whether you make it for 30 days like me, or you make it for 15 years. Man, the ball is gonna stop bouncing. And at the end of the day, being old in athlete years, you're still young in world years. You know,
please.
30 years old as athlete, you old. 30 years old in life, man, you still got so much ahead of you, and so many of us have that make it to the league or bust attitude, and guess what? It's gonna bust more often than not, and at some point it's gonna bust even if you do make it. So
Because of age.
yes, so you know, even if you don't necessarily have your backup plan,
Yeah.
if you have a foundation of education, it can help you find your way when that's. So I had to I got to make sure I say that, man, because we as athletes a lot of times we fall into that trap.
I agree, man. And I tell you, I like what even. I like to expand because when I'm talking to my students, it's the same thing. I like to expand the conversation. They said, "Listen, Prof, you know, you went semi-pro and before you tore your leg up and all that." I'm like, "Yeah, I did, but I came back, right?" But let me say this to everyone that's listening. It's not even just necessarily about the degree either, right? You may not go back to a 4-year, but go get you a trade or a skill or get you some certifications in something. Maybe you love computers. Like look at KD. KD played 2 years, but he loves photography and has been published all over the world now.
Yeah.
So when this is done, I mean, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm sure he'll be fine, you know. But when this is done, he has another skill.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying, that he's perfected. Like he's on the sidelines as with media passes as a photographer with telephoto lenses and so you know what I'm saying. Like he's progressing himself. So
sure.
even if it's not the degree necessarily, it's expanded. It's to get something else other than what your muscles can do for you.
Exactly.
Because your muscles gonna fail. It is what it
At
is.
one point.
It's
At some point,
just
it is.
part of life, right?
Yeah.
So activate double entendre.
Yeah. So obviously, being active in the physical sense, encouraging people to be active. I know one thing, especially in the black church. There are times where
You gotta be active just to shout.
yeah.
That's cardio right there.
Yeah,
you hit
you
me
know
in the
what I'm
black
saying?
church.
But if you think about the physical and the physical ailments, the health issues that plague the black
Yeah,
community,
absolutely. Facts.
you know, a lot of times, you know, we'll say, "Hey, I'm a pray for good health. We're gonna pray for good health," but then we go put the worst stuff in our bodies, or we won't exercise.
Yeah, man.
And so, man, we want you to be. You know, this brand is about encouraging you to be active. Physically and spiritually. We want you to be active in your fitness and your faith. You know what I mean? And so then also, you know, Hebrews talks a lot about the different instances where people in the Bible were active in their faith. You know what I mean? There's a couple things that stick out to me. You think about Noah, right? And God telling him to build this ark, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't see any rain when he was building this. He built the ark. And then the flood came. So you got people that's probably looking at him like he's crazy. You building this huge
I
ark.
guarantee you they
had to be.
I guarantee you they said that.
They had to be. So it sometimes just believing is not enough. You've got to put action behind it. So he went ahead and built that ark even before the rain came. He went ahead and built that even before the flood came. And then when it came, he was ready. He was prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so encouraging people to not just believe, but to put action behind it. So a lot of people will say that God has given them this dream or God has given them this purpose. And then they're expecting something to fall out of the sky for that to happen. But are you preparing yourself for when that opportunity comes? Are you
Right.
doing what needs to be done to prepare yourself to take advantage of those opportunities for that dream? You know, encourage people to be active in your faith, man. Just believing is not enough. And so that's where active faith comes from,
Right.
man. Yeah, and
Yeah.
And we feel like that. When I funny story about the name. I got to tell you a story about the name.
Talk to me.
So I never had a job before in my life besides playing basketball. I hadn't done anything in my life besides playing basketball. And so we're going to start this company. First thing I'm like, okay, what's the name going to be? I literally Googled how to come up with a company name. Like I Googled that. And
Why not? Why not? I mean, Did your research?
Man, and then this article came up, and it was saying to make columns and list out, words that described what either
Right.
what your company was going to be about or what it meant. And literally, I had these two different columns, and active and faith were next to each other. And when I put it together, I was like, man, that's perfect.
Yeah, that was
how
gold.
How can anything else,
Yeah. That's dope, man.
personify this better than that?
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
fly.
That's where the name comes
That's
from.
fly.
Yeah.
You know, when you were talking about what are you doing to prepare yourself for your dream? I think about, and this cat is, and listen, this cat has got a lot of, who I'm about to say has got a lot of heat here recently. But before we talk about him, maybe you got a lot of heat that you're producing. Maybe you got a lot of products that are on fire, they flames.
Segue.
Right. Well, this portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Maybe you're starting your business and looking for a place to advertise. Do you have need to reach out to thousands of people across the world or build your brand and or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. Now, we offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including, you ready? iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the U.S. as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue coupled with your strategic ad is surely to hit the mark every time. Now, you can call us at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. So quickly, preparing for your dream. You know, this guy's been getting a lot of flack lately, deservingly so. And that's the other side of me. Go check out Society Now if you want to hear how I go on my rants, on my streams of consciousness, as this guy likes to call it Kanye West, right? Ooh. Well, so
Yeah.
he never set out. If you listen to, I'm a fan of college dropout, graduation, and the 808s and heartbreaks.
Yep.
My Twisted Dark and Fantasy. Like
Yes.
I'm a fan of that Kanye,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So I'm a fan of him. He never really wanted to do music. He was always the guy that was into fashion. He was gifted at it, so he saw a lane for. But what did he do to prepare? People don't know this. They're like, oh my God, how does Kanye get all of these kind of? He interned for Louis. He interned for, you know what I'm saying? Like I mean, obviously he can afford to do it, right? But he paved his way, and now he's one of the most premier and iconic designers, black designers in the world, right?
sure.
And so that's just a testament and an example of of people paying their dues and preparing themselves for their dream. You're gonna remember Kanye for his music, but once his music, because his music has, at least in my opinion, has begun to diminish a little bit, his long-lasting legacy probably will be fashion. And so and what because you got to remember he's the one that brought back holes in your clothes.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember when he started with the polos and backpacks, everybody was
Polos and backpacks.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. He had this one line that he said on Def Jam. He said, "Ralph Lauren was boring before I wore him." You know what I'm saying? Like. And so it's one of those things, man, that I think that paying your dues and really preparing yourself. There's nothing more gentlemanly, right, than really being prepared to do so. So let's dig in, man, a little bit more. So give me three lessons, these three strong lessons, right, that you've learned as an entrepreneur. I'm not going to lie to you. This is for me. I'm a year into entrepreneurship.
Yep.
Pray for me, Lenny.
Man, let me tell you something.
Listen, go to the Father. Fall flat on your face for me.
Lord. please, but everybody who wants to be an entrepreneur, please bless them, because I'll say the number one thing, it's always going to be harder than you expect it to be. Always. I try to document, and I probably need to do a better job of this on my social media. I try to document some of the things in my daily process and the things that we have to do, because one of the things that people would hit me up and they thought this was like an overnight thing. They thought this was a man, I see you hanging with such and you at the game with such and this and that and this and that, and they didn't understand. I did not get a paycheck from what I was doing for 3 years.
Wow.
for 3 years.
And I'm gonna tell you how this is not an overnight thing. The very first time I knew about you, I learned about the brand was to a friend of mine, Ray Beatty, good friend of mine. He brought some jerseys, the long joint that had IJNP, right down the middle. Still got it, right? Still got the joint.
Yep.
This was like, I got married in 09, so it was like 09,
Yeah.
09 or 10. So it's definitely not overnight.
And I mean, I was living at home with my mom. I mean, broke. You know, it's not a. I think being an entrepreneur, being a CEO, these things, it's a sexy term now. You know what I mean?
But it's grimy work.
Oh my goodness,
it's dirty.
It's not glamorous. it's not
dirty.
glamorous.
Long
And,
nights.
So one would be, you know, expecting the trials that come with it, because they're gonna come, and they're gonna come one after the other, and there isn't necessarily a time where you've conquered this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't conquer this thing. It's something that you gotta pay your dues every single day with this, because no matter what level of success you think you've achieved with it, it can be gone. You know, I think I missed this last month, which I normally don't. Every month I post this, and it's not even for everybody else. Sometimes it's just for myself. I will post a picture of Blockbuster video.
Wow.
I posted, and the reason why I post this
Please
picture,
tell them, because I know where you're going, because my wife and I talk about Blockbuster
Oh, my
all
goodness.
the time.
So growing
They
up,
shot themselves in the foot.
man. So growing up, Blockbuster was on every block.
Bruh.
Blockbuster was everywhere.
Friday nights. Bruh.
Come on, man.
Going to get
Come
you
on,
a Sega or a Super Nintendo joint.
Come on, man. They was
Rent-
everywhere.
Come on, man.
And so you think about the level of success that they had, and you had this startup company called Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and having this kind of revolutionary idea at the time that, hey, you know, we're gonna send you these DVDs, we're gonna send you these games, and you send them back. You know, it was something that they were losing money on at the time, but they had an idea that they felt was gonna change the game, and they brought this idea to Blockbuster. Hey, Blockbuster, this is the wave of the future. This is
Man,
what's
please
next.
tell the people. Preach to the people, Lanny.
And the
Preach to
CEO
the
of
people.
Blockbuster laughed him out of the meeting. He
Out of the meeting, bruh.
laughed him out of the meeting. He laughed him out of the meeting. So Netflix continues to evolve and try to figure out a way to survive. And so they jump into it. It turned from a mail order service to now streaming. And anybody who's, I guess, you know, we old heads now. The younger generation now, y'all probably don't even know what Blockbuster is, but it doesn't exist anymore.
There's one.
Oh, there's one.
There's one.
Okay.
There's one. And the only reason I know, I saw a documentary about it about maybe 2 months ago.
Wow, okay.
There's one in some small town in
One.
Oregon.
Hold it on.
In Oregon, bro.
Hold it on.
And they're trying to turn it into a museum.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
Blockbuster's the museum. It blows my mind.
And now, you know, Netflix is literally the king, and Blockbuster doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? And so I post that all the time, just as a reminder to myself. Say, bro, I don't care about that win you had yesterday, last week, last month. I don't care about the win you had today. That can be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to continue to innovate. You have to continue to keep pushing yourself to the next level. You can never, ever get complacent, because no matter what size you are, no matter how big you are, you can come tumbling down. So
Yeah. I mean, that's real. Like, you know, take it back to basketball or the sports period, right? Whatever sports you're in, there's 4 quarters in the game.
Yep.
There's more than one, you know, there's more than one game in the season. You go on a win streak, you go on a losing streak, regardless, but you got to get up every night.
Yep.
Every day, every competition, and play again, right? You know what I'm saying? For me in track and field, every race, I had 4 or 5 races a meet. It wasn't just every meet; it was
Yeah.
every so often in a meet.
Exactly.
I had to
Exactly.
get up and redo it again.
Exactly. And then you also know, as an athlete, it's like, okay, once you've proven yourself and you've reached a certain status, then it actually becomes harder, because now you're a target. Not everybody is, okay, well, I want to beat Kalen. Okay, oh, Lanny, you supposed to be ranked this as a point guard? Okay, I'm coming for your head. You know what I'm saying? So,
Every night.
So,
That's why I respect Bron. Anyway, that's a different conversation.
Man, I mean,
let's respect Kobe.
To be doing it
Yeah.
that long and
19
knowing
years.
that people, that you have that target on your back, you know what I mean? And so, same way with entrepreneurship, man. It's like you're gonna have that first battle of just breaking in the door and establishing yourself. Then after you get established, ain't no time to relax, because then that next phase is even harder of sticking around, of being able to still get to that next level. So the other thing I'll say is this: prepare yourself and learn how to deal with rejection, because as an entrepreneur, that's gonna come way more than acceptance. I've heard 1,000 no's.
12 yeses.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so the people will see them 12 yeses, be like, oh man, that boy winning. You know what I'm saying? Man, you don't know these 1,000 no's that I had to hear.
Right.
You don't know how every time I heard that, man, you don't know laying my head down like, man, is this gonna work? How am I gonna get past this one? You know what I'm saying? You see that yes, but you don't know how many no's it took to get to that yes. And so preparing yourself and being able to deal with the rejection and still bouncing back, I think that is that's a hallmark. That's a big key in this entrepreneurship game is being able to deal with that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. We're talking entrepreneurship with Lanny Smith, CEO of Active Faith. And listen, we're all in business, whether it's an entrepreneur or working for someone, to earn a check, to earn a living. But it's important that you know what to do to manage that which you've earned. And as such, this portion of the show is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. Did you know that only four states in the U.S. offer financial education? 33% or more than 77 million Americans, they don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and 39% of adults say they don't have enough savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email us at info@HoustonHousewivesOfFinance.com and ask how you can participate in a complimentary, that means free, financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services. So we're talking with Lanny Smith of Active Faith. I have on the newest, release, a piece from the newest release of the Blessed. What do you call it? This collection is the Blessed collection. Like what?
This right here is the performance tech.
Okay, the performance tech.
Here,
yeah.
So
talk to us.
The Blessed design is one of the designs of this performance tech collection, man. You know it because you're wearing it, man. The quality is something that,
I got something I want to say about it. Go ahead.
The quality is so important to us. We sourced manufacturers for 8 months before we even launched a single product because, like I said, I grew up wearing Nike. I grew up wearing Jordan, and I knew that I wanted our stuff to feel and look that same way. Right. I didn't want, there's one thing about a lot of faith-based Christian products and different things.
It lacks in quality.
Oh my goodness.
It is what it is.
And it's like, man, you're supposed to represent the Most High, but you telling me that you don't want to.
But your quality is the most low.
Oh man, come on now. You know what I'm saying? And so, I didn't want anybody to feel like they had to sacrifice quality to rep this message. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be a situation where it's like, man, that looks dope, this feels dope, and it's got a dope message. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, with this collection, we really, we didn't spare anything with this one. We wanted, from the minor details to the cut to the fabric, man. We definitely we're excited about this one.
Yeah. No, for sure. I've been blessed to have worked on a number of campaigns with you regarding this, and I'm not just saying it